France is heading into a political storm as President Emmanuel Macron's war-driven priorities collide head-on with a budget rebellion at home. As Paris struggles to pass its 2026 spending plan, opposition leaders are accusing the government of forcing through a defense-heavy budget while ordinary citizens pay the price.
The budget voted by the Senate is a bad budget, especially because it does not even consider reducing the deficit. And so we have here today a kind of copy, which is a botched copy. And thus we need to revisit it after the break. We will work on it, even during the holidays, to think about how to have a copy that is as clean as possible. Clean means a copy that is fair.
That criticism goes further. France's Communist Party has openly branded the government's spending plan a war budget, arguing that social priorities are being sacrificed to finance military expansion and foreign conflict.
The government has made other choices. It confirms a very strong investment in the defense budget. It is a military budget. It is the war budget that will be proposed to the French people, and that is not at all the choice we prefer.
Lacking a parliamentary majority, Prime Minister Sebastien Lecornu is now relying on a constitutional special law to avoid a shutdown, temporarily extending the 2025 budget while lawmakers argue over what comes next. Even government allies admit the move exposes political weakness.
If we had a majority, the problem would not arise, and we would not have a special law. The Prime Minister's job is precisely to find a majority and ensure that, through discussions with political groups, we can find compromises to have a budget at the beginning of the year. But what is certain is that the special law is not a budget, and that it is just additional time to allow us to manage the debt from January 1st.
While his government struggles at home, President Macron is doubling down abroad. In Brussels, he has committed Europe to massive new funding for Ukraine, locking the EU into long-term war financing well into 2026 and beyond.
We decided to lend Ukraine up to 90 billion euros for the next 2 years on the basis of a loan from the European Union that will be guaranteed by the European budget. These Eurobonds for Ukraine are a major step forward that gives visibility to our Ukrainian friends and coherence to our support.
Macron insists this is strategic necessity, not choice. He argues that defense spending and industrial mobilization must take priority, openly framing the budget around sustaining Ukraine's war effort and Europe's military posture.
We have been keen to introduce a robust European preference for our defense industry and that of Ukraine. This solution has appeared to be the most realistic and practical to ensure that Ukraine has the means it needs to finance its war effort as early as 2026. We have been keen to introduce a robust European preference for our defense industry and that of Ukraine.
That blunt contrast now defines France's political battle. While Macron commits billions to war abroad, his budget at home faces rejection, revolt, and accusations of democratic overreach. Parliament reconvenes in January, but the question is already clear. How long can a president pursue war priorities without the consent of his own country?